Happy Monday, traders. It's 8:02 a.m. Chicago time on March the 9th, 2020. A historic day today. As you probably have noticed, the S&P is locked limit down at 28.19 even, with a crude off approximately 24% currently. Crude has fallen as far as $27.34 as a reference. Friday's close was 41.57. Just a tremendous fall there. There's a lot to go over today. I'm going to spend very little on review, but I want to make sure that everybody here is educated about the limit rules on the CME. And this is how it goes. I did post these on my Twitter feed. And if you're a Convergent member, they're in the Head Trader channel. It's the first post I made at 5:50 Central, 6:50 Eastern. Circuit breakers have kicked in at 5% Globex. That is the price limit for Globex due to the low liquidity. The exchange has the lowest threshold there, 28.19. This means that there are not going to be any trades placed below 28.19. Essentially, the exchange wipes away the bids. So what you may see on your chart is 28.19 and just dashes across the board for an open, high, low close of those bars if you're on a time-based chart. This continues until about 9:25 a.m. Eastern time, and then the market goes into pre-opening, and then a 7% limit kicks in. The 7% limit puts the limit price at 27.5950, 27.5950 for the ES. Once that is hit, it will continue to trade for a few minutes, and then a new limit is triggered, and then it goes through a pre-opening again to 13%, and then the limit there will be 25.8150, meaning no bids below 25.8150. You cannot sell below that price until it reopens again, at which point it'll go to 20% limit. The 20% limit puts us at 2373 on the ES. In either case, no matter what, even if we hadn't breached the 7% limit or the 13% limit, the last 35 minutes of cash trading, there will be a 20% limit. So the market's allowed to fall beyond 27.5950 and 25.8150 without limits down to 23.73, at which point the market will lock. And so the current reference price for the ES is 29.6750. That price is derived by looking at VWAP in the last 30 seconds of cash trading. That is always the reference number at the end of every session. The last 30 seconds, there's a VWAP that's picked up by the exchange, and the reference price is created based on that. The only time that the exchange will halt trading, meaning nothing goes through, is if the New York Stock Exchange invokes Rule 80B, which is the circuit breaker, and stock trading is halted. Until then, it'll continue to accept buy orders. As you can see right now, 28.19 has traded quite a bit. That is the overnight low plus the VPOC. And you're free to buy 28.19. There's no halt there, but if the New York Stock Exchange opens up and it halts, then the CME will halt as well. So that's just really important to keep track of, so you know. The Fed has increased its overnight repo operation to 150 billion from 100 billion. The term repo this week will be 45 billion versus 20 billion. So the Fed's already pumping money into the markets. And as you all know, the Fed has no limit as to how much it can add to its balance sheet, basically. And that's where we stand. So important things to note. Again, derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This is episode number 1708. Convergent members, sit tight. We may have an impromptu today due to the unusual action today. Crude has blown through four of its limits, 7% limits, and is trading at crude is just taking a beating. Trading at 31.75 with a low of 27.34. Crude volume 905,000 contracts, down 23.06%. The Euro stocks are down 8%. 8%. The DAX is down 7.62%. The ES down 4.89% on lock limit. The Dow is down 4.87, the same. NQ 4.82, the same. RTY 4.74, the same. The dollar is down 92 cents, trading at 95.01 and a half. And the bonds, the U.S. bonds are up eight handles. The future's trading at 187.27. Huge move there in the bonds. And the safety assets are all bouncing. Gold is sitting at 1680, up only 0.5%. And of course, crypto taking it in the teeth as well. There are a lot of people who've been arguing that if the market tanks, then crypto is likely to be the place where money goes. Unfortunately, it's not that easy to move money into crypto on short notice. It's not like you can go to your TD account or E-Trade or whatever and just do that. So that's where we stand. Now, the limit is going to be, the market is going to be locked between 9:25 and 9:30 Eastern. And it'll pause at that moment before the 7% limit kicks in. My expectation is you'll likely see a flush. You'll likely see a quick drop. A quick drop, and this is an environment where the demand for bids is very, very high, especially with clearers and brokers and so on coming in and looking to get people out at whatever price to liquidate accounts. So although you can, it's not wise to buy that 28.19 at the moment. The bottom's not likely to be in. The opening is going to be pretty intense. Hopefully your brokerage feed, your data feed is a very good one, because it's going to see a lot of fast markets today and very high burst rates in messaging. So, the best advice I can give you today is just watch. Just watch. This is pretty historic. Just watch this. We haven't seen this since the 2008 election, at which point the market ran up and rallied, but it had political news to rally on. This is still driven by fear, in addition to the breakdown of talks between among OPEC members and between Saudi Arabia and Russia. So Aramco, I think, repriced its crude oil down $7. And that's triggering off all this craziness in the crude market. Here's what was expected. I'm not going to spend much time on this. This is what was expected on Friday. These are the price levels. There's no sense in me putting scenarios up these days. These are the price levels. The top price level was 76. Expected the market to respond back to 76 before it sold off. Here's what actually happened, because I like to stay consistent and show what was expected. Here's what actually happened. Let me squish this down quite a bit. We went to 73 actually is the price that I had. It went to 76. The gap remained open early, and then it rotated down to 3,000 not 3,000 to 2,900 is expected on that diagram that I showed. Here's what I was looking for on the session. What I didn't see, and in fact I wasn't here for because I was on an airplane, I didn't see this push up that happened on very high delta. There was a lot of participation on the buy side into Friday's close. That was not expected. I expected it to either stay steady down or stabilize around 28.93. And it ended up pushing to 28.98 and then springing up in what turned out to be a high volume channel here. That was not expected into the weekend. So I was looking for a neutral extreme down day, and I was looking for more selling. When I had left on Friday, I was looking for neutral extreme down and more selling into today's session. So that's a surprise. The rally on Friday was definitely a surprise. Again, the volume was very high, as you can see here. The relative volume on my 15-minute bar chart was quite high compared to the 20-day mean for that last bracket. There was a lot of buying in here. And then since then, of course, the market is down here. Is trading down here. Lock limit, the low end, the point of control overnight is at 28.19. Let's take a look at the overnight session. Here's the overnight session. It opens at 29.16 and drops immediately. So there's the open. This is an open drive down on the overnight session. Drops very, very quickly. Not enough time to do a lot of volume here. So the volume is 310, very deceiving. 310 is only twice what we would consider to be the norm. My guess, the fact that it's been lock limit, and you can see these dashes down here, the fact that it's lock limit down takes, there's no volume to be traded because there is no bid. There's currently no bid in the market. So if you're long, this is not a good situation for you. And you can see the profile did not generate a profile at all. This is complete. The entire session overnight is an excess. It is an excess price. These prices are considered too high for the current environment. And so there was not much developing in the overnight session. Okay. I'll show you it on my book map, although it's very, very hard to read in this situation. Here's book map. I colored the actual last green. We opened way up here. We opened way up here and just hitting the bid, hitting the bid, hitting the bid. And you can see these collisions, these bids that were resting right here at 80, at 60. These bids were absolutely collided with and brought down, and it went right to limit down right here. You can see bids have been working the limit price for those who wanted to get out. Bids were working the limit price, and then a nice bounce, and then again tiny bounce, and then from there it's just been sitting sideways. You can see little trades, the little dots there. Those are little trades that have been going off at that 28.19 lock limit price. Okay, currently 14,710 are on the offer. We were getting some bids here. It looks like 6 on the bid. No trading allowed on the bid just yet. So here it is. It's a little bounce here, and you can see it's like when it dropped, it was like a ball. Big bounce, and then tiny bounce, and then flat. This is why I like to describe the market in terms of energy, because it tends to behave just like kind of a ball or a wave or whatever. So that's that. Hopefully, you're well informed as to what to expect on the open. Again, for those who arrived just now, we're lock limit down at 28.19. The market will continue to stay this way unless a bid comes in before 9:25, which is in about 9 minutes. Unless a bid comes in and lifts the market off the low, the trades will halt completely for 5 minutes. At that point, in the last 5 minutes before the cash open, the CME will accept bids, cancels, adds, cancels, and on the bid, and then it'll net those prices out, and then expand the limit down to 7%, which puts the lower boundary at 27.5950, 27.5950 from where we are now. It's about 100, what is it? It's about 50 points, right? So that's likely to uh, remove. 1 second, please. See ya. Um, so at that point, it goes to 27.5950. I'm expecting it to drop through there. And that's only about 50 points away. I'm expecting it to drop through there and potentially find a bid. I mean, these prices are cheap to somebody, and that's what we're looking for today. Um, there's no sense in me drawing anything on the screen here. It's going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to be a student today, just like everybody else, just like everybody else. And we are, we're gonna watch what happens. It's very likely that the opening price will remain at 28.19, and then we'll look for it to drop somewhere in here, find a bid, cross the open, and then from there, your guess is as good as mine. Clearly, the overnight inventory is absolutely short, and it may be that we'll find a bid. We often do, but if we don't, we'll be on pause at 27.5950. If you're long, this is not a good day. And I would just be very, very, um, very cautious going long today. I would stand by and hold steady through this. Okay. Good luck, and I'll catch you. I'll catch you when I catch you. I'll be here tomorrow morning, and I'll be commenting on Twitter and, of course, in a Convergence Head Trader channel all day long. Very important day today. I hope you have your risk under control. It is not a good market to be participating in if you don't have a sizable account. Even then, there will be plenty of volatility and plenty of opportunity to participate at some point later. Okay, don't have this FOMO thing where you have to participate and then it's done with regret. Good luck, and I'll catch you later. Take care.